Hi there everybody, welcome back to Bustling Home. Today we're going to talk about curriculum choices for the 2020-2021 school year. This year I have two 5-year-olds, currently two 3.5-year-olds who will turn 4 mid-year, and two almost 2-year-olds. The 2-year-olds aren't going to be in school, of course. The 3.5-year-olds are doing preschool, and the 5-year-olds are working on kindergarten. I know it can be a struggle for homeschool parents, especially new homeschool parents, to choose curriculum for the year. There are so many options. How do you pick which one is best for you and your kids? And are you going to use the same one for all of your kids, or do they need different approaches or different subjects? Whether you plan to homeschool or you're pushed to homeschool by the COVID-19 pandemic, let me give you some ideas of how we are working our homeschooling curriculum this year. My main focus is on reading, math, and handwriting. I'm trying to give my kids tools so that they can learn themselves by reading books and looking at other resources without having me explicitly teach them everything. So without further ado, let's get into the curriculum. My first choice is for reading. We are using All About Reading. And this looks like a lot of stuff. But remember, I have two sets of twins that are working through this. So we have All About Reading Pre-Reading, All About Reading Level 1, and All About Reading Level 2. These are the instructor manuals. I've already taken apart most of the student manuals because the student manuals have worksheets and review sheets in them, so I take them apart and organize them by lesson. Now, the middles, the 3.5-year-olds, are finishing up pre-reading very soon, so they'll be moving on to level 1, which starts them sounding out short words like cat. The big kids are about 12 lessons into level 2, and I've noticed that they're slowing down a little bit, so I'm not sure how soon they're going to finish level 2. It'll probably take a little longer than I anticipated, but I do expect that before the end of the school year we'll be into level 3 with the big kids. Now, along with these teacher manuals, which these are great for new homeschool parents, these tell you exactly what to prepare, exactly what to do, and they tell you what to say even. So there are no questions left open for new homeschool parents. In addition to these teacher manuals and the student manuals, each level comes with readers. And I'm missing one of the pre-reading readers, which I didn't really use it that much. But the pre-reading comes with 2 readers. Level 1 comes with 3 readers, and Level 2 comes with 2 readers. And these are nice, appealing stories for the kids. I find them dull, but I find a lot of the kids' stuff dull. So as long as they like it, it's fine. It's not as dull as some of the other stuff I've seen, at least in my opinion. In addition to All About Reading, we are using My First Steps to Reading. So with the middles, we've been going through first the capital letters, then the lowercase letters, and now we're doing the letter sounds, and we're almost done with that. So each time we go through a letter, we read the corresponding book. And this book is about little P putting things that begin with P in her box. So here's a porcupine that she puts in her box. And all of these books follow the same format, that there's little some letter kid putting stuff that starts with that letter sound in their box. So it's a great way to review what the letters look like and what the letter sounds are. Next in our must-do subjects is math, and I don't have anything to show you for that because it's all in a PDF. We're using Math Mammoth, and Math Mammoth is a very affordable curriculum, I think. On the surface, it mostly looks like just worksheets, but in the book, there are also sections that tell you what kinds of games you can play to reinforce certain subjects, and it gives you links for other things that you can do online. So in that way, it keeps the price down because you're just getting a PDF of worksheets, but you can still get the benefit of having an interactive curriculum. With my big kids, they are not quite up to the point of doing handwriting fluently, so for the worksheets in Math Mammoth, we're talking about them, and either they just give me the answers verbally or I write them down. I would suggest that if your child is developing skills unevenly, that you separate out the different subjects to make sure that they're not getting frustrated with something that is a barrier, while they're working on something that they can make progress in, like my kids with math. If I made them write out everything by hand, they would not be able to progress as far in math because the handwriting is holding them back. Our third core subject is handwriting. And for that, we are using a reason for handwriting. We have level K and we have level A. Level K I'm using with the middles, and that just has the letters of the alphabet and then a picture to color on the back of the page. So for F, there's a lowercase f, and on the back there's a frog. The reason I chose this manual is for what happens starting in level A. In level A, they work on a letter and words, and this is day 1 and day 2 on this side. And then on the back, there's day 3, which is some more words, and then day 4, there is a Bible verse for them to trace. So that includes a lot of letter practice. And on the 5th day, there are some decorative sheets in the back that they can then copy the Bible verse onto the decorative sheet and color it and make a nice thing to send to a relative or to post on the wall. I'm not sure if we're going to stick with this because so far the kids are not having much fun with it. They find it kind of dry. And I'm not sure if it's because it's handwriting or if it's the particular way it's presented here. So we'll see about a reason for handwriting. What's almost another core subject is character. I really want to focus with my kids on character development so that they can explicitly know what good character traits are and how to apply them. If they're ever unsure on a gut level what the right decision is, they can look back at their character training and maybe get some better insight analytically. And I don't expect 3 and 5-year-olds to really understand these concepts, but I at least want them to understand the definition of what it can be and how they can display it. The best curriculum I found for that is called Little Lads and Ladies of Virtue. And this curriculum is another PDF printout that it was, I think, $22 online. And there are 24 character traits in this book. For each character trait, there are 5 daily lessons. So it fits very neatly into a weekly schedule that you can do this curriculum for 24 weeks and then go and start over again. And it includes I will statements to tell the kids how they should act to display the character trait. It defines a character trait. It has a Bible verse related to the character trait, and then has activities for the kids to practice displaying the character trait. I found this to be very straightforward and easy to do. I can pull it out, skim the lesson for the day, and then do it within 5 or 10 minutes while the kids are eating breakfast or lunch. For science, I'm just gathering some resources to introduce them to some topics. In kindergarten, they really don't need a heavy science curriculum. So I'm making unit studies using things like the National Geographic Little Kids First Big Book of Weather for our weather study, which is my favorite. I'm a meteorologist by training. Of course, we're going to do weather first. So I will read a few pages of this a couple times a week to get them used to some of the weather terminology and some of the ideas surrounding weather. In addition to National Geographic, we will scatter books like Magic School Bus Presents Wild Weather or the Hurricane Magic School Bus book and use those as read-alouds, but I don't schedule those because those just depend on the kids' mood and when I'm up to reading that long of a book to them. We will also be using the Cat in the Hat's Learning Library, which includes a lot of good information about a handful of different topics. Like we have the weather one, there's a dinosaur one, there's one about maps that we are going to use with geography, and several other subjects. And it has the usual Dr. Seuss rhyming and the usual Dr. Seuss colorful pictures and a little bit of silliness in the mix. So the kids really enjoy these. I'm going to try this Fly Guy Presents series and see how it goes. It looks like it might be more visually appealing for the kids, although it might be a little bit too hard for them to read it. I think Rory can read these since he's reading at a level far beyond what I've taught him. It might seem a little bit advanced for kindergarten, but we're going to work on a bit of geography also. This Evan Moore Beginning Geography book is very heavy on map sense. So using this book, the kids can practice how to read maps, how to read a compass, how to make maps Like they could make a map of their bedroom. And then it introduces them later to the continents. So I think this will give them a very good basis for understanding social studies and history and cultural studies and anything related to that independently when they come across it, and just having some idea of relative locations. So again, this is working towards my goal of having them able to learn independent of me when they find the resources. We haven't started doing music yet, but when we do, I have music for little Mozarts available. And this is a piano study that is geared towards preschool and early elementary school. It comes with a music lesson book, a music workbook that I'll have to make copies of, a discovery book, and the teacher's handbook because I really have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to play piano, so I'm going to learn too. That's one of the great things I find about homeschool is if I want to learn something and I can get the kids interested, I get to learn it. It's awesome. I'm going to try to incorporate a little bit of German also, because Jeff speaks German very fluently. I speak a little bit of German, and I'd like the kids to get a sense of the existence of other languages and that they don't always sound like ours, but they can still be meaningful to other people. So I'm going to have them watch some German cartoons like Die Biene Maya, which is Maya the Bee. So far that hasn't been too successful, but I've only shown them one episode of it. And next time I think I'm going to try sitting down with them to watch it, because maybe if it's an activity with mom, it'll be a little more appealing rather than having this cartoon that they just don't understand the words. In addition to the cartoons, I have this little book here that has Color and Learn Easy German Phrases for Kids. Inside here, there are phrases and words in German so that the kids can see a picture that goes with the words. I can tell them what the word says approximately since I don't speak fluently. Maybe I'll have Jeff do that. And then they can color it. So it's just another little activity to introduce them to the subject. For religion, I had a really hard time finding something. We are Melkite Greek Catholics. We're not Greek, but that's the church we joined. That is a branch of Byzantine Catholicism or Eastern Catholicism, and it's quite a bit different than Latin or Roman Catholicism, which you'd normally think of as Catholic. In practice, it's more related to Orthodoxy. And I found two curriculum options for that, both of which assumed that the parent could paraphrase what was in the curriculum, which I can't do because I only joined the church in May of 2019, and I have no background in the Bible. I have no background in liturgy or religion of any sort. So if it says don't read this verbatim, I can't use it. Luckily, I ran across the Busy Kids magazine, and this magazine has a monthly calendar that shows on every day something special about that day, and it notes if it's a feast day, if it's a fast day, or if there's no symbol, it's a normal day. It has a lesson plan for each week in the month. So these lesson plans list the activities, and they list the page numbers for each of the activities. So if I want to do week 1, all I have to do is flip open to the page that it says and read it verbatim, which is exactly what I need. So that way I can learn some of this stuff along with the kids, kind of like with the music stuff. Those are all of our choices for a curriculum in the 2020 to 2021 school year. I hope you found this useful. If you are looking for your own curriculum, I would suggest checking out the Rainbow Resource Center, Christian Book, the Homeschool Buyers Co-op, and Amazon. Those are the best places I have found for myself to find curriculum. You can also look up reviews on Kathy Duffy Reviews. It's a great website with a bunch of reviews of a whole bunch of different homeschool curriculums, and it's organized by topic and organized somewhat by age. So it makes it a little bit easier to find something you might be looking for. And I will leave you with one last thought. Remember that curriculum is a learning aid. It is not a prison. You don't have to follow it exactly. You can change it to fit your needs however you want. If you need to diverge from the curriculum and take some rabbit trail off on some topic your kids find interesting, go for it. If they don't need part of it, like for part of All About Reading Level 1, my kids really didn't need to do all of the activities in the review sheets. We just skipped them. There's no reason to make them do it if they don't need it. and it saves time. We can do something else with that time. Whether you chose homeschooling or were pushed into it, I wish you the best of luck. Let me know in the comments below if you want a deeper look at any of these or if you want more reviews later on or anything related to curriculum. Thanks for stopping by.